couple people interested in when I interviewed Jordan Peterson. I'll look at a little bit of that. I haven't looked at this for a while. Let's just see. I don't even remember what the interview was like. Let's just jump into like the middle and just see what Jordan Peterson said.
This way of of postmodern ideas, and the more radical postmodernists, and you see them particularly in fields like women's studies and all the ethnic studies groups that have disciplines that have been generated since the late 70s, their goals are quite straightforward. They want to reconstruct the patriarchy. And so the patriarchy basically means our civilization as it currently stands, which they regard as...
It is hard to take this seriously now in light of everything that happened since, but...
irreparably corrupt.
Let me pause there if I can, only because we have limited time, of course, because you do have to get to a class, and we're starting to drift a little bit from maybe what was the main focus of it. Let me cut to the chase as I see it and see what your thought on this is. I think that there's a very good possibility here that you're presenting the superior argument with regard to the C-16 bill in Canada. However, I'm wondering, from a purely pragmatic perspective, whether you'd not have more support in terms of your position on C-16 if you didn't communicate what, and I'll be very upfront with you in terms of the way I interpret it, and I don't think I'm the only one, and I don't mean this as a criticism, but just as an analysis of how I see it. Significant level of hostility towards transgender individuals as a separate issue from that of gender-neutral pronouns. I'm wondering, and I'll give you a chance to respond, of course, whether if a student requests an accommodation with regard to a pronoun, even if you don't think that this makes any sense, even if many people don't think that it makes...
The program will begin in 2 minutes.
2-minute warning, okay.
Makes any sense. Might not making some effort to go forward with that accommodation put you on much stronger footing then for your opposition to C-16 and the sort of legislation of this type of language? I'm thinking out loud. I don't know what you think.
Well, I don't know if it would put me on stronger footing. It would certainly be easier, I can tell you that. It isn't obvious to me that the appropriate thing to do when you're compelled to use words that you don't agree with, that the right thing to do is to go ahead and use them. So I regard the made-up pronouns, the je and je and so forth, as part of the vanguard of this postmodern movement. And
sure, but in what way are you hurt by just doing that if it makes a student more comfortable, if it makes them take more away from the class, because as they see it, not as you see it, maybe not as I see it, but as they see it, they're being addressed in the way that they want to be addressed. In what way is that jeopardizing you or your teaching?
This is where I thought maybe he was going to cry.
Or the material in class, for example.
Well, I don't think there's any evidence that it will make things better for them. It's just a supposition. In fact, I think that the demand to be marked out with the special use of pronouns, which, by the way, don't change very frequently in the English language. They're very fixed words. I think
yeah, it's all so boring now, right? Like thinking back to that, it's like what a waste of time all of that stuff was. It's weird.